You are listening to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, episode number 122.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
Yummy Mummies, what is happening? What is happening in your world? How are you today? Literally, how are you? I am so good because I'm talking to you. Every time I hit record or play or whatever the button is, I get very happy to talk to you. I really genuinely do. I love talking to you. I just imagine you and I are having a conversation. It's the best. We really are like besties. So some of you guys feel like you really know me inside and out. You're like, I listen to you all day, every day. And I'm like, I know. I'm with you. I'm there. Okay, so heads up. This podcast is all about priorities and why you haven't lost weight for the last time. And this isn't like to shame you, but this is to give you like a big freaking ha. Okay. So before we dive in, make sure you have signed up for the Yummy Mummy Experience IRL. IRL. Do you guys know what IRL is? My husband's like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh my God, you're so done. Like, you are not a baby boomer, okay, babe? And he's like, oh, I got you. Obviously, I know what IRL means. Okay, if you don't know what IRL means, I love you and you're not in trouble. It means in real life. So we're doing a Yummy Mummy in real life experience. We're doing a retreat, people. Are you coming? It is open to the entire Yummy Mummy community, which means you. So if you're not already signed up, what's happening? Go to lauraconley.com and click IRL or go to lauraconley.com/IRL. Okay, sign up. Let's go. It's $9.97 for the ticket. It gets you all access Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it is, yes, there is a slight focus on health, wellness, and weight loss, but it is truly a life coaching retreat. So you don't have to want to lose weight to come. You can just come and blow your freaking life up. This is for moms that want women too, who really want to create more space and freedom. That is like the underlying current. That is like what we're here to do at Yummy Mummy is free the moms. And sometimes we need to become free by creating space because we don't even know why we're not free in the first place, but freaking boy, can we tell. So go sign up for that retreat if you haven't already. Also, if you're not on the wait list for the Yummy Mummy Experience and you know you want to lose weight for last time, make sure you're on that wait list because there is a bonus. And then last thing I need to tell you is that there is going to be a fabulous, freaking fantastic, I think we're calling it a party, but it's going to be March 30th. So mark your calendar. It's going to be midday. I haven't actually sent the link for signups yet. It's going to be free. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. So that's like the scoop that I have for you. Now, the client comment that I want to tell you comes from Olivia, and Olivia gave us the scoop last week, but she gave us a lot of scoopage. It was like a triple freaking decker with Jimmy's, aka sprinkles. Do you guys call it sprinkles or do you guys call it Jimmy's? When I moved to Boston when I was like 11, they're like, do you want Jimmy's on this? I was like, what? So sprinkles, Jimmy's, whatever. So Olivia says, Laura goes above and beyond in delivering incredible value to her clients. She truly cares and is dedicated to your success. It is an investment and it is absolutely worth it. I have not looked back at the money I spent on this experience, which I get to take with me for the rest of my life. The momentum created from successfully getting over one major hurdle in life is huge and will help propel you forward in so many ways. I got exponentially more out of the experience. Well, and then she's so good. She's like, get on her wait list. And experience the impossible and let that become possible. I love it. Thanks, Olivia, so much. Okay, so guess what, you guys? This is kind of like my fun fact for this episode, which is this episode is all about priorities. And if you're watching on YouTube, you might have noticed I'm in my pajamas. What? It's 9:30 p.m. at night. I never record podcasts at this time, but guess what one of my priorities is? One of my priorities is serving this community. In fact, it is my top priority. I mean, my family comes first. It does. My family comes first, but my family is chosen. But after that, my top priority really, truly is serving this community. It really is. And so that's why I'm doing this at 9:30 p.m. because my podcast editor is going on vacation. And I mean, don't tell anybody, but I do submit my podcast a little bit on the late side. So I'm not one of those podcasters that has like 4 months of podcasts like ready to go and badged and like sent to the editor. Oh no, I'm doing it on a weekly basis. I like to have a pulse on like what you guys are going through. Like what's up for you? Like what is it about to be Easter? Are you about to eat like 8 Reese's eggs? Like we need to talk about that, right? So I like to be super relevant and week to week. So, and I just feel like we're just more connected that way. But Cody, my podcast editor, was like, girl, you got to get me a couple of episodes before I go on vacay. And I was like, Cody, don't worry. I got you. But that's not scheduled into my regular day. So what am I doing? I'm recording a podcast episode because I'm super crazy freaking committed to, I mean, honestly, to this community, like I said, and to putting out a podcast every single week, literally no matter freaking what. Now, if there was a true emergency, I would figure something out, right? I would have my assistant or my team or whatever, like throw something together and figure it out. But my brain was like, you know what we could do tonight? We could watch the morning show, or we could read It Ends With Us. Have you guys been reading that? The Colleen Hoover? My brain's like, we should just get in bed and like snuggle. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. That sounded like pretty dreamy. It sounded pretty good. After a long day, it was a big day. P.S. My kids were like freaking bears. Like, what were they drinking today? Because, oh my God, my husband and I were just like giving each other stares like all during dinner. We're like, what is happening? We're like, oh, we thought they were tired. Oh, we thought they were hungry. Oh, we fed them. Oh, we gave them rest time. Oh no, they're still fucking assholes. I'm just kidding. It actually did turn around to be a great night. We had a little game night, which was really actually super fun. We're trying to do 23 and 23. So we're trying to do 23 game nights in the year 2023, and we're trying to do 23 hikes in the year 2023. And we have these fun little charts that we like to check off. I love a good chart. Hey, P.S. Stay tuned. Yummy Mummy experiencers. We're gonna bring charts, like fun check off charts, into the 30-day challenge. So, anyways, that's totally tangent. But my point is, this is a living, breathing example of actually following through on what you decide your priorities are, even when you don't want to. Because trust me, when you pick your priorities, you're not going to want to follow through on them. Okay, so let's like dive into the content of this episode. One of the main reasons you haven't lost weight, or you haven't gotten all the way there, and maybe you already lost weight, but you're working on another goal, and maybe you haven't gotten there and it's been like a really long time and it feels really arduous. The reason could be because you just haven't made it your priority. And again, I'm not saying that you put this above your family and your friends. I'm not. Or like you having a roof over your head or like food in your mouth, right? But I do want to recommend that whatever the one thing is that you want, I recommend you make it your priority because it's really easy for you to let it fall, for you to like, I'm not blaming you, right? You're not in trouble. So as you go through this episode, you have to understand that you are not in trouble. Like, this is the way your culture is set up. So what is a priority? If this is one of the main reasons as to why you haven't lost weight in the first place, we have to actually define what a priority is. So a priority is, I mean, I think you probably all know, you guys are all pretty well educated, like, and smart, right? Like, priority is just something that you consider or that is considered more important than other matters. But, okay, so that's like the definition. I think like Merriam-Webster or someone on Google said that's what it was. Something that is considered more important than other matters. But like, have you actually considered what your priorities are? Like, do you know, again, without shaming yourself, like, do you know what your priorities are? Because I don't think a lot of us even know in the first place, like, what the frick our priorities are. Like, what are they? What do we want them to be? Are you just letting life, again, without the shame? Can you be curious about this? Can you just have awareness around this? Got to get some water. Now, you guys, today I'm just drinking good old fresh, purified water. Last week I was drinking some, I don't know, what was that? Fake root beer. It was delish, but now I'm just purified water. And you know what? Sometimes purified water is actually kind of really good. It's so funny. One of my best friends, she just like loves purified water. She just like talks about it all the time. She's just like, I'm going to get hydrated. She's like obsessed with it. It's so fun to watch. She's like, I'm going to get hydrated now. I love getting hydrated. And then I like take a page out of her book and I'm like, I'm going to get hydrated. And like, actually it's kind of nice. Okay. So are you just, again, from curiosity, are you just like accidentally, again, you're not in trouble, like letting life happen to you? Are you in charge of your life? Are you in charge of your schedule? Like, this is really easy to not be in charge of our schedule, to let life happen to us. Like, really seriously, our days can just become full of other people's priorities, right? Of kid shit, of homework, of freaking the dishwasher. Like, literally, if you don't decide ahead of time what your priorities are, your life will feel like it is happening to you. Again, nothing bad, not like there's like nothing bad about this. There's something wrong, but you just get to decide, like, is this still how I want to live my life? And I really think so much of our culture is set up this way. I think so many people benefit from this. Like, if there's a lot of people in your life that know that you will say yes and you will just take on what they ask of you, that benefits them. They like love that you're not in charge. They like love that you don't really have a clear priority because they know that most likely you're going to say yes. And so then they get to benefit. So like, are you really deciding? Like, are you doing your life on purpose? Is your life happening to you? Are you the one that is creating your life? Again, this is just an awareness exercise. This, you guys, you have to pinky promise that you're not going to let you beat you up, because that won't actually help you change. That will just make you feel shame and it will keep you stuck. But can you just look back with love? Can you just create some awareness? I wonder what's going on. Okay. So if you want to lose weight for the last time, it has to be your number one priority every day. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it has to be a priority over your children. Okay. Like over you raising your precious babies over your family. I'm not saying that, but it has to be the second priority on the list. Okay, worst case scenario, third on the list. But like seriously, of the things in your life, it really does have to be number one. Like you're going to take care of your kids, right? So that's like obviously going to be number one, right? You're going to like make them food. Like you're going to survive. That is going to be naturally, because you're a human being, your number one priority to keep yourself alive and to keep your kids alive. Okay. So I'll give you that. But after that, your number one priority has to be to lose weight for the last time. If that's what you really want, it really has to be your number one priority. And if it hasn't been your number one priority on a daily freaking, at least weekly freaking, daily freaking basis, that's why. And you can use this as like an aha moment. You can be like, oh, this is actually so relieving. Like, I just kind of like tried to like half focus on this and spend like 4 minutes on it per day. I'm not saying you have to spend an hour on it every day. You probably have to spend like, I don't know, 7 minutes on it, especially if you're doing the Yummy Mom experience. But it literally has to be your number one priority every day for 6 months to 2 years. Okay. That is a guiding principle. Some people need only 3 months and some people like need 2.5 years. And that's me being like really, really liberal in terms of the timeline, in terms of 2 years, or conservative, like however you want to play with it. But I mean, also some of you guys are like 2 years. Are you kidding me? F that. I'm like, yeah, 2 years or the rest of your life, because at the end of the 2 years, then you are done. Okay. So how do you actually decide your priority? Now, some of you guys are like, oh yeah, losing weight for the last time is definitely my number one priority, second to keeping my children and myself alive. Okay. You're like, yep, that's me. That's what I want, 100%. And then some of you don't really know. You're like, I don't know what my number one priority should be. So let's decide. Let's just decide right now. Like, what do you want? And you guys will be like, some of you will be like, oh yeah, I know exactly. And then the other half of you will be like, I don't know. I don't really know what I want. You know what I should do? I should journal about that. I should go to the psychic. No. You know what you want. You're probably just not allowing yourself to want it. Like, what is the thing? If there was no judgment, if no one got to have an opinion, including your mother or your mother-in-law or you or whoever is like living in your brain, if no one got to have an opinion, like, what would you really want? Like, what do you really want? Like $1 bajillion. Be super skinny. What do you want? It could be to like solve world hunger. And I'm not being facetious here. Like, you can want that too. Whatever you want it. Like, let yourself desire what you desire. I truly believe that the desires that are planted in you are there for a reason, and you ignoring them is going to create so many more problems than you listening to them. So just for like 6 months, or just for like a week, or just for like a year, let's listen to your desire. What do you want if you were allowed to want it? What about this question? What do you want so badly deep down, and you kind of know, like, if I just got this one thing, life would just be mwah, chef's kiss. So cheesy-lish. But seriously, you guys know, don't lie to me here. Some of you guys are like, I really don't know. Okay, but if you did know, like if you had to give me an answer, what would it be? And my guess is that is it. Really, truly. So I want you to pick that thing. Now, again, it doesn't mean that you don't like get to do other things. You still get to like do 10,000 steps if you want. And like read a book every month and fill in the blank. You still get to do other things. It doesn't mean that you're not going to like live your life. You are. It just means that you've got a priority in place. It doesn't mean you don't get to be interested in other things. It doesn't mean you don't get to have intentions around other things in your life. Like maybe you intend to get your kid into like the perfect Waldorfy camp. Like you can totally do that, right? It doesn't mean you have to like ignore the rest of your life. It doesn't mean you can't go to book club. It doesn't mean you can't like cultivate that friendship with the girl down the street who's like super cute and you want to like go for power walks with, right? Okay. So, but what is your one thing? Now, a lot of you who are listening to this podcast, your one thing is to lose weight for the last time or to continue on your journey, right? So let yourself pick that one thing. Okay, let me give you an example. So my one thing, my top priority for this year is to serve 200 yummy mummies inside the experience and to get 200 yummy mummies across that line of having lost weight for the last freaking time. Oh, it like literally lights my soul on fire. It doesn't mean that I'm not interested in other things like going outside or like I said earlier, like game night with my kids. But when push comes to shove, I choose this priority, right? When it's like, oh, it's time to watch the morning show or time to serve my clients, I go serve my clients. And trust me, I have plenty of time for rest. If you guys know me, you know I'm getting like solid 9 hours every night. Okay, like I get my rest, okay? Now, here's another example. My brain's like, yep, we're going to serve, or not my brain, like me, my higher self. We're like, 2023, we are going to serve 200 yum mums, right? But then, like, I don't know, a month later, after I've already decided this, my brain's like, you know, we should actually do this year. It's like, yeah. Like, we could serve 200 yum mums, but you know what else we could do? Like, at the same time, probably, is like, invest in some real estate property. My brain's like, yeah, we could do that. Like, my brother kind of wants to do that. And he like kind of put it on the table and he's like, we should get a place in Hawaii and we should get a place in, he's being all fancy over there. I'm like, all right, whatever. So he's like, we should get a place in Hawaii and Airbnb it, and then like in Breckenridge and Airbnb it, and then we'll get a place in Vermont. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And then my brain's like spinning and my brain's excited. And my brain's like, yes. But you want to know what? Then I have to enter. I have to be the adult in the situation. I have to be the adult and I have to come in and I say, sorry, can't do that. Nope. Sorry, not available for that, because that would mean that we would be taking away from the 200 yum moms. We could put it on the list. I love this idea that my actually, I wasn't really going to tell you guys this, but we're in the process / it's kind of already done, hiring / hired an assistant, super top secret, but no, it's not, an assistant coach. Some of you guys know her. She is Rose, and actually her title is going to be the Delicious Over Delivery Director. So she is going to make sure that all of my clients, that these 200 clients, feel like they are waking up on Christmas morning, or the equivalent of, they're going to feel like they won the lottery. Like, she is going to help me love on them and help me get them results. Okay. So I can totally put like invest in an Airbnb in 2024. Like, that can go in the parking lot. The reason Rose came up is because she gave me this idea of the parking lot, which is so helpful for me because my brain comes up with like 72 different ideas every single day, and I just put them in the parking lot. And so then they get like space to like breathe and be, and I don't have to squash them. And then they're like not mad at me because then they get a place. and I don't squash them, and then they're like still trying to dig out of the hole, but please, 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 please do this idea. So anyways, Rose, she's amazing. So that was totally a tangent. But my point is, notice once you've decided that this is your goal or your priority, lose weight, serve 200 clients, whatever your thing is, write a book, whatever. Notice when your brain wants to play shiny object syndrome. Like, it's par for the course. Like, your brain is going to want to do it. Okay, so when you set a priority, whatever that may be, your brain is going to try to talk you out of that priority and try to talk you into a new priority. So this is why I highly recommend that you pick one priority for the year and then put the other priorities like as number 4 and 5 or whatever, however that looks for you. Because it just makes it really easy to decide. It makes it easy to not slip into shiny object syndrome. So when my brain's like, oh, you know what we could do is we could get that condo or townhouse in Breck. I'm like, no, this is what we're doing this year. You can do that in 2024. My brain's like, so don't be confused if your brain keeps going. And then my brain's like, no, but this is the year. We have to get it this year. This is the year when the real estate's good. And if you miss out on this year, then you're never going to even be able to afford a place there. Like, I don't even know what you're going to do. And I almost believe my brain. So don't be surprised when you almost believe your brain, when it almost talks you in, because it will try to negotiate what you've already decided. So you'll decide on your priority, and then your brain in like a month will try to negotiate. Because why? Because your priority is going to get boring. Have you guys heard me talk about James Clear? Like, my favorite thing that he talks about in Atomic Habits is the willingness to be bored. And the people that are the most successful in habit change, aka losing weight for the last time, is a willingness to be bored. It's really fun at the beginning for some of us because we get that hit on the scale every single day. And then maintenance comes in. And guess what? You don't get a hit on the scale. You actually can make it so that you get a hit on the scale, because when you weigh the same every single day, you can talk yourself into that dopamine hit, but you just have to be really intentional about it. And I teach that inside the Yummy Mummy. But what I want to talk about is shiny object syndrome. It's going to come up. Your brain's going to try to negotiate. It's going to try to talk you out of your priority for this year, and you're going to want to believe it. You're going to want to go with it. You're going to want to be like, yeah, fuck this. This is a dumb priority. This is so stupid. Like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, why did I even choose this anyways? You are not available for negotiating with terrorists. You're not available. Make it known. Write it down. You are not available for negotiating with terrorists, aka your lower freaking brain. You're not in trouble. We all have lower brains. We all have terrorists living inside of our heads, and it's fine. You just have to know how to deal with them. So, yeah, you know what, brain? That would sound good. I probably would get a hit from exploring buying a property in Breckenridge. Honestly, I don't even know if we can afford that, because that was totally like, I shut that shit down because that's got to go in the parking lot. That's for 2024, right? So I don't even know if that's even feasible. So my point is, you have to be committed. You have to be willing to be bored. You have to be willing to do your priority over the other shiny objects, like a condo in Breckenridge, or fill in the blank, whatever the F your brain comes up with. So what is the one thing that you want more than anything? And then can you commit to it for the remainder of the year? And the answer is yes. But you just have to be prepared for when your brain's like, I don't know, this is dumb. I don't like it. We're not getting results anyways. It's not really working. Yes, it is. Keep going. It actually really makes it easy because there's so much being thrown at us on a daily basis, right? Hey, let's get this new property. Hey, do you want to write a book? Ooh, do you want to collaborate and do a retreat? Ooh, I know. Maybe you shouldn't lose weight doing this program. Maybe you should do it by doing keto or 36-hour fasts or, I don't know, Lumen or Noom or I don't know, fill in the blank. I don't even know the things. Ideal protein or whatever people are talking about these days, right? No, you're doing it this way. You're doing it this priority. Keep going one foot in front of the other. Be willing to notice when shiny object syndrome creeps in and then shut that shit down. Okay, so I want to make it easy for all y'all to prioritize, right? To do this on like a day-to-day basis. So I wrote a newsletter about this, a Wednesday Words. If you are not on my newsletter list, what are you doing? Get on there. That shit's good. It's meaty. I love sending you guys these newsletters. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I wrote a newsletter about priorities because it kept coming up inside the Yummy Mummy. And so I was talking about in that newsletter that when I lived in LA, oh my God, you guys, this is so cheesy. And I totally am like dating myself, which like, P.S. like, I don't care. I'm 39 and a half and it's amazing. But when I was living in LA, I used to binge Stephen Covey, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective, whatever, humans or people or whatever it is. I would listen to those CDs over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And my husband would too when we would talk about them. So like, can you just picture me like on the 405? Isn't it so funny? Like in LA, they call it like the 405, like the 10. And I'd be sitting in crazy bumper to bumper traffic, like commuting back and forth from selling copiers and listening to Stephen Covey. And he talks a lot about priorities. And he teaches what's called the Eisenhower Matrix. Have you guys heard of the Eisenhower Matrix? Okay, so you can Google it. There's like a bazillion images online of the Eisenhower Matrix. But just stay with me because I'm going to explain it. And you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so helpful. There are 4 quadrants in the Eisenhower Matrix. Okay, so like start to visualize with me. Don't get lost. This is super easy. I super pinky promise too. Okay, so in the upper left-hand corner, there's just 4 quadrants. In the upper left-hand quadrant, there are the things in your life that are important and urgent. Okay, and then the upper right hand, important but not urgent. Okay, and the lower left hand, urgent, not important. Lower right hand, not important, not urgent. Okay, so if I totally lost you, don't worry about it, okay? The point is that all of your activities go into one of these 4 quadrants. Now, where does losing weight for the last time go? It goes in the quadrant, the upper right-hand quadrant of important but not urgent. Now, some of you are like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Losing weight is the absolute, like, most urgent thing ever in my freaking life. Like, some of you guys probably feel like super desperate and hustly and graspy and in a major rush, and you want to do like a 10 like green juice cleanse or whatever. But when it comes to the day-to-day activities that you need to do, at least what I recommend, which P.S., they don't take very long at all, those activities fall in the important and not urgent category, that upper right-hand quadrant, okay? And the people that spend the most time, like the most percentage of their time doing things that are important but not urgent are the most successful people. But it's hard. I'm going to give it to you. It's hard to do important but not urgent shit. because you don't get a huge dopamine hit. And that's what humans are all about. We're all like, how can I get my next dopamine hit? How can I scroll on Instagram and see what Stacy's doing from high school? Oh my God, she's pregnant. Oh my God, that's wild. Let me get a scoop of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Okay, that doesn't get us where we want to go. None of that's wrong or bad, but the people that are most successful spend the most time in that quadrant of important and not urgent. And the activities like the ones I recommend, like journaling every day, and my clients get like a very specific journal that has questions of like exactly what they're supposed to journal, whatever, every single day. It's important for them to do that, but it's not urgent, right? They're not going to die. No one's going to die if they don't do it. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. So I want to encourage you to spend time in the important but not urgent quadrant. So whatever your priority is in your life, most likely the activities that it will take for you to achieve that priority, for you to get the result that you want, will be important but not urgent. You will have to do activities that will be important but not urgent. Okay? So what do we do? Because freaking life, right? Because there are important things that come up that are urgent. There really, truly are. But guess what? Our brain's like, there's like, let's say on a daily basis, there's like 20 things that come up that are urgent and important. No, there's not. No, there's not. There's like one thing per week that comes up that's important and urgent. But our brain's like, oh, you know what? Kat emailed me and she needs the answer to my question about whether or not Luna's going to after school care. This is very important and very urgent. No, it's not. It's not at all. No, we do not have to do that right now. You know what we need to do right now? We need to journal about our day in relationship to us losing weight for the last time. We need to do our yummy mummy homework. But our brain's like, no, we have to answer Linda. We got to tell Linda if our daughter is going to after school care, like on freaking, I don't know, April 29th. You know what? Linda can wait 24 hours. It's fine. It's totally fine. But our brains are like, no. We got to do these urgent, quote unquote, important things immediately. And our brains want to do that because they want to get a little check. They want to get a little gold star. Like, ooh, I did that. Ooh, I get to cross that off my list. Right? And there genuinely are important things that are urgent. Like, for example, your kid is genuinely sick at school. You got to go pick them up. Right? Like, oh my God. Our contractor, we're redoing our basement. And he will present, P.S. I love him, but he will present that his things are urgent. They're not urgent. And if they are urgent to him, I'm sorry. I'm going to help my 200 clients first, and then I can help you, Dan. We call him Dan. It's so cute. Anyways, I love him so much. But his stuff is not urgent and important. Is it important? Yeah, fine. I'll give it to him. But it's not urgent. It's more urgent for me to help you. It's more urgent for me to do my priority, not his priority, right? And some of us can see this as like, well, that's rude. Yeah. I mean, you could interpret it as that. So you might have to be willing to be a little rude. Somebody was ringing the shit out of my doorbell earlier today. And I'm like, no, I'm literally not answering that. I'm in the middle of writing my blog newsletter and I'm not answering it. This is my priority. And that's kind of how crazy we have to get, at least at the beginning. Okay. So I want to encourage you to be living in the land of important but not urgent and doing the activities on a daily basis that don't give you that big freaking hit. Now let's talk about not important but urgent and not important but not urgent. So that could be like a lot of things that are like not important but seemingly urgent. Some of the things I kind of just talked about, right? And so you get to decide what is not important but feels really, really urgent. Responding to other people, right? Other people's requests. It's so interesting to look at. Like email, not important, but seemingly urgent, like interruptions. Like, oh, can I just talk to you? I just want to explain this to you real quick. Just people popping, maybe if you work in an office setting, like people popping by. Not important and also not urgent, like just hanging out at the coffee maker. Now, it's not bad or wrong for doing that, but you want to check yourself. Like, notice where you're spending the most time in these 4 quadrants. Waste of time could be like procrastinating or scrolling. Again, scroll if you want to scroll, but can you do it on purpose? And again, I'm not like by no means perfect at this, but I just feel like this Eisenhower matrix gives us a guiding light. You don't get to learn about this Eisenhower matrix and then beat yourself up against it. You just get to use it as a way to learn about your behavior and about the way you spend your time and then make a new choice moving forward. You just get to use it like as an awareness tool. But my main point is that the daily activities are for losing weight, are very important. And once you get a couple weeks in, are going to feel not urgent. But they are, if this is what you want. Seriously. So that's what I got for you, you guys. That's our episode. You can Google Eisenhower Matrix, and there's tons of images. There's tons to read about it. Don't overwhelm yourself. But do look at it and see if you can start to spend a little bit more time in the important but not urgent category, especially when it comes to your priority. Oh, I wanted to tell you one more thing. One of the best things about setting priorities is, and I kind of touched on this, but it just makes it really easy and clear, right? So if it's at the end of your day and you didn't get to order, I gave this example a couple of weeks ago, but if it's at the end of the day and you have one of your goals that ladders up to you losing weight for the last time of like just submitting like a 10-minute order into Instacart or like Amazon Whole Foods or whatever it is every week, it's like 10:30 at night. And you're like, shit, I was supposed to do that today on my lunch break or whatever. And you didn't do it. But then your husband's like, oh, but I really want to watch the morning show with you or Ted Lasso or whatever. You pick the Instacart. You pick the journaling. You pick the boring thing that you don't really feel like doing instead of the other thing. It doesn't mean you can't do the other thing in 10 minutes, but like I had a client a couple of weeks ago and she was moving and she's like, I have to furnish my house. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, definitely furnish your house. But don't do it at the expense of your number one priority, right? Because have you guys been on West Elm or Crate and Barrel or whatever? Like, you can be on there all freaking day long. And it's kind of exciting because you just got a brand new house and you got to furnish it. And your brain will be like, it's very urgent because we have to like get the order in because it could be like 8 to 10 weeks. And so when push comes to shove and you've chosen a priority and at the end of the day, you know which one to pick. You know. And it's time to stop scrolling and looking at West Elm, faux fur pillows, and do my journaling. And it'll suck a little bit, but you'll lose weight for the last time. And you'll still have a furnished home. It just might be furnished like 2 days later than your lower brain wants it to be. You can live without a furnished home for an extra week. You cannot live not in your dream body any longer, okay? So I really want you to be onto yourself. When your brain's like, yeah, but this is important and urgent. Yeah, but this is more important. This is more urgent than my weight loss. No, it's not. Once you decide what your priority is, that is your priority for the year. Stop choosing other freaking shit. And it will be hard. And I love you. And you're not in trouble. Stop choosing other things that don't get you to where you said already, to where you committed already you want to go. And it doesn't mean you don't get any chairs in your house. Doesn't mean you don't get to eventually have the condo. Doesn't mean you don't get to write your book eventually. But let's lose the weight first. Let's do this and complete this. Because if you do everything at 20% or you do everything at half-ass, then everything's half-ass. Right? You have to see this through to completion. One of the absolute best skills that I've cultivated, even though I was kind of kicking and screaming along the way, is the ability to constrain. One priority for yourself, go all in, be willing to be bored, be willing to say no. And this is actually the secret to you getting to have it all. And yeah, you're going to have to say no to things that seem really timely and really important. But you got to marry that against what you really want and what you already decided was the most important for this year. And it's not easy. And that's why a lot of people, I hate to say it, but like a lot of people won't lose weight for the last time because they're just not willing to make it their priority. So that's why I highly encourage you to put yourself in a container where it's a little easier for you to make it your priority, where you have somebody breathing down your neck being like, you got to do your daily download every day. Hey, you got to listen to this call. What about your homework, right? Put yourself in a space where it makes it easy to remember what your priority is, and it makes it easy to not have shiny object syndrome, and it makes it easy to not be as bored, okay? And of course, obviously, that container is the Yummy Mummy experience. If you are not on the wait list, get over there. Go to lauraconley.com, click work with me, get your booty over there, and on that list, let's lose weight for the last time, okay? It's time. Let's do it. I love you. Have the best week ever. Ciao, ciao. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty pleased with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. Thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, the Yummy Mummy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that on Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.